Hey guys, so funny story. I spent about an hour and a half making a video for you guys about our infertility story. And then I uploaded it to my computer and my computer deleted it. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm making this video on my phone, so if it's a little rickety, I'm sorry, okay? I'm only human. So, infertility story. It's gonna be interesting. I'm exhausted, but I wanted to get a video up, so this is what I'm gonna do. Featuring Riverdale, wine, and IVF meds. Awesome. Okay, so I don't really know where these things usually start, so I'm just gonna jump right in and wing it. I had known for some time that I had endometriosis. I only knew because of what I was experiencing and what I read and what friends had talked to me about, basically. So yeah, I didn't really know much about it. I just had like a hunch, I guess you can say. I just knew. We got married in 2009. We got married in November 2009, so not too far from 2010. The first year and a half of our marriage, we were not trying, not protecting. So we weren't not trying, you know what I mean? So yeah. And then for a year and a half after that, we got really serious about trying to conceive. I'm talking like legs up in the air, all the wives' tales you can read about, we tried them. I even remember getting like from some MLM company, like an essential oils lotion to try. Like we did it all for about a year and a half. In that amount of time, I had had a transvaginal ultrasound and they confirmed endometriosis, what I already knew basically. And we had talked to our doctor, they knew we were trying. But after that long span of time of not getting pregnant, we just decided, or we talked about it and we thought, you know, maybe it's not our time. Maybe this is not meant to be just yet. We were young. We had no idea what we were doing. And what I did know was that I was in excruciating pain. My endometriosis had worsened, or at least the pain had worsened. I'm not sure what happened, but I couldn't bear it. We were finishing college, so we talked about it and we thought it was best to go on birth control for a little bit. Kind of take a break, but also give my body time to heal itself. I thought maybe that might help. We were on birth control from 2012 to 2014 ish. April 2014, we threw the birth control out and said we're ready to try to conceive again. So I think it was basically we just use ovulation prediction kits, apps, calendars to try to, prime time, but we naturally tried to conceive on our own. And then in September, Scotty had a sperm analysis just to make sure that everything was okay on his part. At this point, we were both really doubtful that this was going to be hard. We thought, okay, what's going on? And we were confused. But at the same time, we were being super, we weren't knowledgeable, and we just thought that everything was going to be fine and that we just needed a little bit longer. And once we knew what we were doing, it would be fine. His sperm analysis came back normal, so that just made us even more hopeful that maybe we just needed to get our time right, like maybe it just wasn't for us yet. In October, I hadn't had a period. No Aunt Flo. It was starting to get pretty frustrating. At this point, I was just a mess. And I have videos from that time period, where I was so frustrated, so confused. I wanted to know why my body wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. I felt really discouraged. Scotty knows, I feel so bad for him, because in that time I wasn't myself. I was pretty sad and just frustrated, really. I was angry with myself. I kept blaming myself because I couldn't, in my mind, give him the one thing that I was supposed to give him out of this marriage. So I was really frustrated and I was sad. And so yeah, so I went on Provera. I talked to the doctor. They agreed that that's something I needed to try, just to jumpstart my period, just to make things work, basically. It worked. I had a period, but then I still was having no success, like getting pregnant or even ovulating. My ovulation kits were not ever positive. Sometimes they were, or sometimes I thought they were. They're just confusing. For anybody who uses ovulation kits, it can be really frustrating, especially with people who have endometriosis or PCOS. So if you were in my position, you know that you can't always trust those kits. So I was kind of a mess. In February, I finally agreed. The doctor had talked to us about this and I wasn't ready. I kept putting stuff on thinking, well, it's just not our time. And I was really in denial that this was something we were facing. But we talked about it, and I had laparoscopic and HSG done in February. So basically they went in to, I say, exercise the endo. So basically they just were going to burn it off and then check my tubes. They put this dye in your tubes to make sure that, it's flowing all good and everything. So that's what we did. Let's see. At this point in time, we were pumped up. We were like, this is all I need is to get rid of this endometriosis and we're good to go. Like, this is what's holding us back. Looking back, it's so silly, but at the time it made sense. Like, that seemed to be our only issue then. So we had pretty high hopes for what would happen next. The doctor said give it a month. I think he said a month to try naturally afterwards. So that's what we did, and obviously that didn't work. Endometriosis, like the endometriosis I had, apparently wasn't our only issue. In my head, I was like, okay, there's something more to this. I asked my doctor several times, and at this point, you guys, we were only seeing our OBGYN. We had not sought out a fertility specialist. And our doctor was super honest, okay? He continued to let us know that this is beyond his scope of practice, and he had said, if at any point you want to further this and go to a specialist, I will refer you. He was very honest about it. So I'm really grateful for him for that. But he said, we'll try one more thing. When we didn't get pregnant after endometriosis, he put me on Clomid. Yes, Clomid. So you guys, if you've never taken Clomid, or for those of you who have no idea what it is, basically it's supposed to make you ovulate. It's supposed to make your body do what it's supposed to do, which mine was obviously not doing. So we did 3 rounds. So 3 cycles of Clomid. I took my very first pill on Easter Day of 2015. Yes. I was depressed. And when I say depressed, I mean like down in the dumps, complete sadness. I have never in my life before all of this experienced anxiety or depression or anything of the like. So I was sad and everybody knew it. It was very obvious. And on top of that, before starting the Clomid, this is around the time where I started to really get down about it anyways. So the Clomid did not help. I was so upset all the time. And Scotty was so patient with me and trying to keep me positive, and I just was frustrated. And I was really angry with myself because I just felt like I was broken. Basically, I felt like, why is my body not work the way it's supposed to? I was just not myself, you guys. If you know me, I was sad, depressed, angry. I was not myself. That's when we finally decided, once we did the 3 rounds of Clomid and it did nothing but basically make me feel awful, we finally decided to seek out a fertility specialist, and we had heard great things about a certain doctor, so we went to this doctor who is about 2 hours away. He's still our doctor today. He's 2 hours away, so we drive the 2 hours every time we see him. It was September of 2015 that we saw him. Again, sorry about the camera because obviously I'm using my phone, so. In September, we had our first appointment. I was every single time you're in this position, every single time something new happens, like you have to start a new medicine or you get a new test and you think, this was it, now I'm going to get pregnant. Like, you always think that that's the last thing you need, or at least we did. Every single time something happened, we thought, oh, now it's going to work. We just needed this. And every time we've been put down. So seeing the fertility specialist really got me excited, because I was like, whatever he's going to do, it's going to work. Like, we waited too long and we were in denial, and now we're here and it's going to be fine. Scotty was a little bit more realistic about it, and he was trying to keep his hope, not to get his hopes up, you know, trying to be more realistic anyways. We met with Dr. Bundren, and there he did another transvaginal ultrasound where he diagnosed me with PCOS. And like I said, I had talked to my OBGYN, asked him if that was a possibility. He said no, but it was very clear that I had PCOS. Dr. Bundren talked to me about it. He put me on metformin to help treat it, just gave me a bunch of education on it, and told us that shortly we would be doing another sperm analysis on Scotty. And when we told him, we were like, well, he did a sperm analysis and it had come back normal. He said, well, there's a lot more to it when you come here. So I didn't know that. His last sperm analysis was totally normal, so I was a little like, okay, we should have come here a long time ago. I was kind of frustrated about it. But in October, in October we did Lupron. So the doctor had said, you know, you do have endometriosis. He had gotten all my records, and he thought Lupron would be the best choice for us. Now, this doctor has pretty high percentage rate, or high rates of people, his patients getting pregnant after Lupron. Basically, what Lupron does is it puts your body into menopause, and it shrinks the lesions of endometriosis, which was what we thought I needed the most. We did 6 months of Lupron. So once a month we drove to Tulsa, Oklahoma is where our doctor is. We drove there, and we got a shot. I did mood assessments and depression screenings and lab work, and there was a whole lot of talking and shots in the butt. So I was crazy, basically. If you don't know anything about Lupron, it'll change a person, okay? I was not myself. And before then I thought, oh, Clomid's nuts. And then we tried Lupron, and everybody started telling me about Lupron rage, like how angry people become. I will say I didn't have quite as bad of experience as most people had, but it was pretty miserable. I was so angry, you guys, so angry all the time at Scotty. Like, I remember just watching him tap on something, and it made me so angry that, like, I could feel the inside of my body getting hot. Like, I hated him. I just hated him in that moment. And there were a lot of moments like that where I was so angry, and he was so patient and so understanding, and he just, like, went through the motions. Poor guy. I feel so bad about it. And we would, like, go in for my mood assessments, and she would kind of look at Scotty, the nurse would be like, is everything okay? And he's like, fix her. He knew it. I was not myself, and I cried all the time, you guys. I cried about every single thing. I cried because he honked at someone who cut us off, and I thought, you just made their day worse, and they probably only did it because they're having a bad day. I cried because I felt bad for them. Like, it was ridiculous. I cried about everything. I cried if we saw a cute little onesie or something. I just was a mess. At the same time, we had to up my metformin. And also, just the side effects of Lupron were destroying me. Like, I had night sweats, hot flashes like you would not believe. You guys, it's like your body is burning. You're on fire. So I had all these hot flashes, all these night sweats, and migraines, which I have migraines anyways. My dad has chronic migraines. I have horrible migraines, and Lupron just intensified them. It was debilitating. I would just lay in bed. Sometimes I would be screaming. Most of the time I would just like want someone to knock me out. I was so miserable. I did some research, and actually, so if you're on Lupron, or even if you have PCOS, pay close attention. Go paleo. I'm telling you guys. I did some research. I did the paleo diet, and I had no migraines. My night sweats, my insomnia, everything was a little bit better. My moods were still ridiculous, but everything else, all that horrible stuff, physical problems, they were better. So paleo diet, I swear by it still to this day. It works for my migraines, even not on Lupron, and works with my insomnia. I'm just saying. But the worst of it all was the anxiety attacks. Like I had said before, I never had anxiety or depression or anything. I had my first anxiety attack with Lupron, and I thought that I was like having a heart attack, that I was dying. And I thought, oh my gosh, this medicine's gonna give me a heart attack, literally. Thought I would need to go to the ER. Thankfully, I have good family and friends who kept me calm and helped me work through that, but I was freaking out, and I had a lot of anxiety attacks on it. They did put me on Zoloft, but I couldn't take it. I just had some other side effects of that were even worse, so I just said no to the Zoloft. But yeah, Lupron is like my enemy. We're not friends. Okay. So in January, so that was in October that I started Lupron. In January, so I was still doing Lupron, but they also decided to bring Scotty back for another sperm analysis. This sperm analysis was different, had a little bit more testing to it, and we found out that he has low morphology. You guys, there's nothing more frustrating than when you do a test and something else comes out of it. First it was endometriosis, and then it was PCOS, and now we're finding out he has low morphology. It was just so frustrating for us. And then he was kind of like confused because his last test was totally fine. We didn't expect to go and do something that had a little bit more testing and then find something worse out. So it's frustrating. This whole process really messes with your head and your heart, honestly. So they gave him some homework. I always say homework. They told him to start on some vitamins and fix his diet and exercise, do all these things. I think they gave him one prescription. I don't even remember what it is. And then I think, was it March? No, March. When March came around, I started birth control for a couple months, and then the plan was to start trying to conceive after those couple months of birth control. But in April, like the next month, he had another sperm analysis, and it worsened. His morphology worsened. So we were just feeling really discouraged and sad, and this whole process was taking so long, you guys. Like, we just wanted to go in, do something, and get pregnant. And obviously that's not that easy. And we learned the hard way that, you know, we're those people who we just go the direction the doctor thinks is best. We trust them. And I still trust my doctor. I trust that he made all the right decisions. I don't regret doing any of the tests or waiting this long to do IVF, but we were feeling pretty awful. And there were a lot of moments where I was just so sad because, you know, at this point in this age, our friends are having babies, you know, we're having new babies in the family, and it's just us. We kind of feel out of the loop. We kind of feel like outcasts a little bit, and it's frustrating when people ask you questions about having a baby because you've been married so long already, and it's like, I know we're young, but we've been doing it a long time, and it's hard. It's so hard. And I know I'm going to get emotional in this video. It's just bound to happen, so, you know, bear with me. I don't even care. So, they said, you know, try naturally for a couple of months. We tried naturally, obviously did not work. And nope, never did we ever get a positive pregnancy test in this process. We never did get pregnant. And it's the best thing that's come out of this, obviously, is that the community, the infertility community, has been incredible. Some of our best friends have come out of this, and we're really grateful for that. But we're just ready to be parents, and the worst part is that we've been ready for a long time, you guys. A long time. Obviously Lupron didn't work. His morphology worsened. What am I gonna say? So the doctor said we kind of didn't really want to do an IUI. We didn't want to waste any more time. We just wanted to go straight to IVF. And actually the doctor agreed. He said, in your case, an IUI it's just not worth it. He said it's not worth the time and money he said you can benefit most from an IVF cycle. So we finally made the decision to do it, but we wanted to wait a little bit, financially, emotionally, mentally, like it just was best for us to wait a little bit. So that's what we did. I went on birth control because I thought just until we do IVF, because I was going to have to do it before IVF anyways, I thought I wanted to just give my body time to relax. I didn't want to put any pressure on myself, and so it's just been kind of boring waiting for IVF to happen. Like, we're just ready and we've been waiting for a long time. Financially, this is obviously a huge burden to us, and emotionally, I'm a wreck half the time, but thankfully I have an amazing husband who's kept my spirits up, and we have so many great family and friends who have supported us. We're super thankful. I couldn't really ask for a better support system. For IVF, which is what this is over here, some amazing friends of ours have donated IVF medications to us for this cycle, which means we've saved thousands of dollars on medication just because people have been there and they know what we're going through and they want to help. That's incredible, you guys, and I'm so grateful for those people, for all of you guys who have supported us and who have helped us and donated these medications, donated your money, your time, and even taken the time to share our campaign and stuff on Facebook. It's been awesome. My parents are some of our best cheerleaders, you guys. They've been awesome. And then Scotty's parents, I cannot thank them enough. They've been a huge financial support to us. Like, I owe them so much. We both do. So we're really super grateful for that. But we're so ready to be parents. And you guys know that. And you see that. And it's hard. It is hard. But we've been so positive, and the last year has been really, really good. And so my husband always says, Scotty always says, expect the worst but hope for the best. And I love when he says that, but at the same time, I can't help myself. I'm so bad at having high expectations and getting my hopes too high, but I don't care because it keeps me going. And I feel like that's what's made me so strong. God has been incredible to us. We are so blessed, and we're just so grateful for that. There's a lot that we are giving up for this, and we feel like it's worth it. Even if, which I don't want to talk about it like that, but even if it didn't work, it'd still be worth it to us. It's still an investment that we are willing to go all out for. So that's our story. That's where we're at. I know this video is so long, but you guys, we've been doing this for a long time. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I will post, I already have my social media links up on my YouTube channel, but in the description box, I will post our t-shirt campaign got relaunched today, which means that's the 4th time that it's been relaunched. You guys are amazing. So if you want to buy our t-shirts, they're down below. So is our GoFundMe account. Also, I will try to post, I think I might post my Facebook group. As you guys know, I also sell Synergence, and that money goes to fertility treatment as well. So if you guys want to help, go ahead and click the links below. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching our videos, and give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned because we're going to have a pretty funny video coming up for you soon.